Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins as Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern finds itself under new scrutiny, not from monsters or magic, but from a kingdom-wide review system that turns every experience into a rating. When influencer adventurers arrive to evaluate the tavern in real time, what starts as harmless scoring quickly evolves into something far more invasive, a system that begins to reshape reality itself through perception. Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Season 2, Episode 24, The Dungeon Review Board, Part 2. The next morning arrived with an uneasy stillness hanging over Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern. The usual hum of early customers was present, but quieter, as though conversations had shifted from casual gossip to cautious speculation. The investigation board from the previous day still stood against the wall, partially covered by a cloth, but its presence was impossible to ignore. Java moved behind the counter with deliberate focus, while Knived leaned against a table scanning a fresh stack of papers. Patches had already begun reorganizing notes from the prior investigation. Fate Scold sat near the hearth as she often did, observing more than participating. Snooks was in his treasure chest chair, now occupied with a small stack of biscuits and an intense interest in anything that moved.
I don't like how quiet it is.
Quiet usually means people are thinking.
Or leaving bad reviews. Unfortunately, that's becoming more common and has transitioned beyond the dungeon businesses to our tavern.
Patches slid a fresh sheet of parchment onto the table. Java immediately noticed the handwritten note at the top.
Please tell me that's not what I think it is.
It's the latest review for us.
The judgment of the public continues.
Do I even want to know?
1 star. The chairs are too chair-like.
That doesn't even make sense.
Chairs are supposed to be chair-like.
Perhaps the reviewer found them overly representative of their intended function.
That is not a realistic complaint.
Snooks looked up from his biscuits as Knived spoke louder than usual. The hatchling paused, then gently tapped one of the biscuits against the edge of his chair as if testing it.
Don't give him ideas.
Snooks immediately hugged the biscuit closer.
There's more.
Of course there is.
Coffee too coffee flavored.
That might be the most ridiculous review we've ever received.
Yet phrased with clear dissatisfaction.
We serve coffee.
Yes,
That tastes like coffee, because it is coffee.
exactly. Of course.
I feel like we're missing something.
Snooks made a small amused sound and kicked his feet lightly against the inside of his chair.
Atmosphere too atmospheric.
I'm starting to suspect these are not real complaints.
A customer nearby hesitantly raised a hand, holding a folded parchment.
I found one too.
You did?
Yeah. 1 star. Too many stairs in dungeon-themed establishment.
We have no stairs in the main room.
I know.
Another customer leaned over from a nearby table.
I found one also. Mine said 3 stars. Too many expectations.
That's not even actionable feedback.
Snooks had now abandoned his biscuits entirely and was watching the exchange closely. He tilted his head as each new complaint was read aloud, his expression shifting with each change in tone. When Java sighed heavily, Snooks mimicked the sound softly, then clapped once as if responding to the group's frustration.
It's spreading faster than I expected.
The pattern we saw yesterday is no longer limited to dungeons.
You think it's affecting everything?
Yes, I think it is.
When a measure becomes widely trusted, it becomes a tool.
A tool for what?
Influence.
The room grew quiet again, but this time the silence felt heavier.
Then the question becomes who benefits from dissatisfaction.
Or who benefits from controlling satisfaction?
Either way, someone is steering perception.
Snooks reached down, picked up one of his biscuits again, and examined it carefully. After a moment, he placed it upright on the edge of his chair as if attempting to rate it himself. Then he patted it once and looked satisfied with his evaluation.
I have no idea what he just did.
I think he approved it.
That's more consistent logic than the review board.
If this is already hitting us, then the source isn't waiting anymore.
No, it's moving.
The tavern door creaked open as a sharp burst of lively chatter spilled inside. A small group of adventurers stepped in with the unmistakable confidence of people used to being watched. Their cloaks were trimmed in bright colors, their gear polished for visibility rather than utility, and each of them carried enchanted lenses, quills, and glowing crystal recording stones. The room shifted almost immediately as patrons recognized them.
I don't like that energy.
That is not adventurer energy. That is performance energy.
I believe those are reviewers.
Worse, influencers.
The lead adventurer stepped forward, already narrating their entrance.
Greetings, followers! Today we evaluate the legendary Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern experience with full transparency, authenticity, and star-based judgment.
We didn't agree to.
First impressions. Ambiance is rustic, chaotic, and deeply atmospheric. 4 out of 5 stars already.
They haven't even sat down.
Sitting is irrelevant to early scoring.
Snooks immediately perked up at the movement and bright equipment. He leaned forward in his chair, eyes tracking the glowing recording stones as they floated around the group like curious fireflies. One of them drifted close to him and hovered. Snooks gently reached out and tapped it.
Oh, engagement from a local patron. We will factor this into accessibility ratings.
Please do not factor our hatchling into your ratings.
Too late. They already are.
The influencer group spread out through the tavern like a staged performance. One examined the counter, another tested the lighting, and a third immediately began narrating the texture of a wooden mug.
Mug craftsmanship? Rustic authenticity level is high, but lacks modern ergonomic enchantments. 3 stars.
It's a mug.
Yes, and we are experts in mug evaluation.
I was unaware such expertise existed.
It does now.
Snooks had moved on to the floating recording stone, following it with delighted curiosity. It drifted just out of reach, and Snooks followed it step by step, completely absorbed.
He's going to get himself rated.
Everything in here is going to get rated.
We would like to interview the staff about their operational philosophy.
My operational philosophy is coffee.
Mine is spice. And coffee.
Excellent. We will mark that as consistent thematic branding. Dot.
I'm not sure I like being branded.
Branding is essential for recognition.
I miss when we were just a tavern.
Meanwhile, Snooks had managed to corner the floating recording stone near the edge of a table. It bobbed gently in place as he stared at it, then he tapped it again, slightly harder this time. The stone chimed softly in response.
Oh, interaction spike detected. This is excellent content.
No. No, it is not content.
It is absolutely going to become content.
The influencer turned dramatically toward the group.
We will now issue a live rating of the establishment based on immersive interaction metrics.
That sounds like something that should require consent.
Consent is implied through entry.
That is not how consent works.
5 stars for spirited debate.
That was not a debate.
Snooks, now fully engaged with the floating stone, gave it a final curious tap and then hugged it briefly. The stone pulsed brighter and began recording at increased intensity.
Incredible! The local hatchling is providing emotional resonance data.
I am 1 second away from banning recording stones entirely.
Fate Scold finally spoke from the hearth, her voice calm and distant.
When observation becomes performance, truth becomes optional.
The influencer group gathered near the center of the room, preparing for a full official rating ceremony. Snooks sat back down proudly, unaware that his playful curiosity had just been incorporated into a public evaluation system that none of them controlled.
This is getting out of hand.
It was out of hand yesterday.
the lead influencer raised their crystal stone high.
Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern. Live rating begins now.
The tavern had fully shifted from a place of morning routine into something resembling a stage. Chairs were repositioned without permission, lighting charms had been adjusted by visiting influencers, and several patrons now watched with the uneasy awareness that they were part of an unfolding performance. Java stood behind the counter with his arms crossed, Nived leaned against the table with a look of restrained disbelief, and Patches quietly observed the influencer group's movements as if mapping a battlefield. Bradicus remained transfixed by the idea of live ratings, while Fate Scold watched the entire scene with an expression that suggested she had already seen this moment coming in some form. Snook sat in his chair, occasionally reaching toward a drifting crystal recorder that still hovered nearby, its glow pulsing softly as it captured everything.
And now, we begin the official assessment of Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern's immersive environmental quality.
It's a tavern.
Step 1. Ambiance immersion check.
It's morning.
Excellent. Authentic temporal consistency.
That is not a category.
It is now.
The influencers walked slowly through the room, gesturing at everything with exaggerated precision.
Wooden textures, highly rustic. Lighting, intentionally uneven. Background chatter, organically chaotic.
That sounds suspiciously like describing a normal building.
Correct. Normalcy is a valued aesthetic trait.
Since when?
Since it became reviewable.
Snooks had begun lightly tapping the floating recording stone again. Each tap caused a small pulse of light, and each pulse was immediately noted by the influencer group.
The hatchling continues to demonstrate strong engagement metrics.
Stop measuring him.
We're not measuring him. We're interpreting interaction data.
That is worse.
The influencer stepped forward holding a glowing slate.
Next category, service responsiveness.
We serve coffee.
Excellent. We will now test responsiveness.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Before anyone could stop them, the influencers snapped their fingers. Another one gestured toward Java.
1 coffee, delivered under observation conditions.
No.
That response will be recorded as initial resistance, followed by cooperation under social pressure.
I said no.
You might want to be more specific.
Java exhaled slowly, then turned to prepare a mug anyway.
They are literally turning service into a metric.
This is oddly structured.
That is one word for it.
Snooks watched Java move behind the counter and immediately mimicked the motion, patting the counter twice as if participating in the workflow. The floating stone followed him closely, recording every gesture.
The hatchling demonstrates procedural imitation behavior. Fascinating.
He's not part of your system.
Everything within the establishment is part of the system during evaluation.
That is a dangerous philosophy.
One of the influencers began walking toward the investigation wall, which was still partially covered.
What is this installation?
Don't touch that.
Oh, it appears to be narrative documentation.
It is active investigation material.
Even better.
No. Not better.
The influencer lifted the cloth slightly, revealing a portion of the string-connected review board underneath.
Oh my, this adds dramatic depth to the environment score.
That is not decorative.
Everything is decorative if framed correctly.
Snooks suddenly let out a small excited sound and waddled toward the board. Before anyone could intervene, he tugged lightly on a loose string still hanging near the edge. The board shifted. Several pinned reviews fluttered.
Snooks.
The floating recording stone immediately zoomed toward the movement, capturing the board from multiple angles.
Exceptional! Organic narrative escalation!
That is not what that is.
Patches stepped forward quickly, adjusting the papers back into place, but now several strings had shifted enough to reveal additional connections that had not been visible before.
Wait.
What now?
Patches stared at the newly exposed alignment.
These reviewer clusters, they're not just centralized.
What do you mean?
They're synchronized.
Synchronization implies coordination.
Or control.
The influencer group turned sharply, suddenly more interested.
Controlled narrative structures increase content value significantly.
It is not content.
Everything is content.
Snook sat back down, unaware of the shift he had triggered. He reached for a biscuit from the counter and watched the room calmly, as though none of this escalation was unusual at all. The recording stone pulsed brighter.
This is it. Peak engagement moment detected.
I am beginning to understand why Garrick was angry.
This isn't just reviews anymore.
Patches tightened his grip on the string board.
It's being engineered.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
Adventurers, travelers, and coffee lovers alike. Welcome to Dungeon Brew Coffee. Whether you crave the boldest brew, a magical chai, or a sweet spice cider, we've got something to fuel every quest. Sip it at home with our online blends, or catch us live at events across Virginia, and soon in West Virginia and North Carolina, as we bring the tavern experience straight to you. And here's a little extra loot for your journeys. Keep your lemonade cup and bring it back to any event we're at and save $1 on your refill. That's one more treasure for your pocket. So, whether you're chasing dragons or deadlines, make Dungeon Brew Coffee your first stop, because every great day begins with a magical cup in hand.
And now, back to our show. The tavern had become something between a courtroom, a stage, and a battlefield of opinions. The influencer ones stood at the center of the room with their glowing recording stones circling like restless eyes. Patrons had shifted into uneasy silence, unsure whether to participate or simply endure. Java had moved out from behind the counter and now stood near Patches, while Nived paced in short, irritated lines behind them. Bradicus looked as though he were witnessing the birth of a grand philosophical system, and Fate's skull remained still, as though the entire situation was unfolding exactly as it must. Snook sat quietly in his chair, occasionally kicking his feet, still more interested in the movement of light and sound than in the meaning behind it.
Based on accumulated metrics, emotional resonance, environmental authenticity, and engagement with local subjects, we proceed to final scoring.
You are still doing that?
This is the culmination of our assessment.
It's a tavern, not a trial.
All experiences are subject to interpretation.
That is exactly the problem.
The influencer stepped forward holding a crystalline ledger that glowed faintly with shifting numbers.
Before final rating submission, we will accept testimony from all stakeholders.
Stakeholders?
We are not stakeholders. Are we?
You operate within the evaluated environment. Therefore, you are stakeholders.
I did not sign anything.
Consent was implied through entry and continued presence.
That is not how that thing works.
The room stirred uncomfortably as patrons exchanged glances.
Are we being rated right now?
I think we've been rated all morning.
Snooks looked around at the sudden tension and made a small curious sound. He reached for a biscuit and held it up, as if waiting for approval. No one responded, so he placed it back down and watched instead.
This entire system is backwards.
It is optimized. ...
Optimized for what?
Visibility, engagement, scalable opinion distribution.
That's not wisdom.
Wisdom is not a required input.
When understanding is replaced by measurement, meaning becomes optional.
Correct. Meaning is subjective. ...
And easily manipulated.
A pause followed. Even the recording stones seemed to hover more slowly.
That's the real issue, isn't it?
Yes. Seems to be.
Someone built a system where perception matters more than experience.
And now experience is being rewritten to match perception.
A self-reinforcing loop of judgment.
Exactly.
Patches stepped toward the investigation board, still partially visible behind the curtain. He pulled it open further, exposing the full network of strings and review connections.
Look at this.
The influencer group immediately turned their attention toward it.
Excellent visual structure. This enhances narrative cohesion.
No. This shows distribution patterns.
Can you translate that into normal words?
Someone isn't just writing reviews. They're coordinating where people go, what they see, and how they report it.
So they're not just influencing opinions.
They're influencing reality.
The room fell silent again.
That means my dungeon
Was part of a system.
and my rating.
Was a sign not earned.
The influence adventurers exchanged excited glances.
This development significantly increases narrative stakes.
Of course it does.
Snooks, sensing the shift in energy but not its meaning, reached up and tapped the floating recording stone again. It chimed brightly and spun.
Yes, the hatchling continues to drive engagement peaks.
Stop saying that.
Final rating will now be issued across all connected platforms.
You're still going to publish this?
Of course,
Even knowing it's manipulated?
manipulation increases relevance.
That is not how truth works.
Truth is not required for distribution. Dot.
Then what you are distributing is not truth. It is echo.
The room held its breath as the glowing ledger began to pulse, preparing to finalize its verdict on the tavern and everything connected to it. The glowing ledger pulsed brighter at the center of the tavern, casting shifting bands of light across the walls, the investigation board, and every watchful face in the room. The influencer ones stood in a tight formation, their recording stones orbiting slowly like satellites awaiting final command. The entire tavern had fallen into a strained silence, as though even the air was waiting to be scored. Java stood rigid near the counter's edge. Nived had stopped pacing entirely. Patches watched the ledger with narrowed focus. Bradicus looked as if he were witnessing the rise of a new societal order, and Fate's Skull remained calm in a way that suggested the outcome had already been seen. Snook sat in his chair, holding a biscuit in both paws, quietly watching the light change colors across the room.
Final assessment commencing. Aggregated environmental data, emotional response mapping, and narrative engagement metrics will now determine official rating classification.
This is still happening?
Unfortunately, yes.
Don't let them finish that calculation.
Too late. The system is self-resolving. Tot.
The ledger emitted a low harmonic tone as symbols and numbers began to align in midair, forming a shifting constellation of evaluation results.
Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern is hereby classified as...
The room tightened. Even Snooks went still. Biscuit paused halfway to his mouth.
a Tier 3 highly engaging environment.
That's not even a real category.
It is now.
A ripple of projected ratings spread outward from the ledger, briefly illuminating every surface in the tavern. For a moment, it seemed as though the entire building itself was being inscribed into a public record.
You're not just rating the tavern, you're publishing it.
Correct. Observation becomes documentation. Documentation becomes influence. Dot.
And influence becomes control.
Control is an interpretation.
No. It's a consequence.
When stories are measured instead of told, they no longer belong to those who lived them.
The ledger flickered. The recording stones slowed. For the first time, the influencer hesitated.
Engagement anomaly detected. Dot. Dot.
That's not an anomaly. That's resistance.
Patches stepped forward and placed a hand on the edge of the glowing ledger projection.
You built a system that assumes experience is data. But experience is not data. It's memory. Context. It's choice.
The ledger flickered again, its projection destabilizing slightly.
System integrity is dependent on continuous input.
Then stop feeding it.
Nived reached out and, with deliberate calm, knocked one of the hovering recording stones out of its orbit. It spun, stuttered, and dimmed. Another patron stepped forward and did the same. Then another. Snooks watched for a moment longer, then gently tapped his own biscuit against the edge of the chair as if making a decision, before dropping it onto the floor and patting his hands together. The recording stone nearest him powered down with a soft chime.
Engagement sources destabilizing.
Bradicus stepped forward, unexpectedly serious.
A system built on observation cannot survive when the observers choose not to participate.
Participation is assumed.
Assumptions are not consent.
The final recording stone drifted back toward its owner, dimming as it left the tavern space. The glowing ledger flickered violently, its projected ratings fragmenting into unreadable symbols.
Error? Insufficient engagement data? ...
Then there's nothing left to rate.
The ledger collapsed into a dull pulse and then faded completely. Silence returned to the tavern. The influencer ones stood frozen for a moment longer, then slowly began gathering their equipment, their confidence replaced with something less certain.
We will reevaluate our framework.
You do that, somewhere else.
Without protest, the group exited the tavern, their recording stones fully powered down and no longer orbiting anything at all. The door closed behind them with a soft click. The room remained quiet. Java finally exhaled.
I think I need a stronger coffee after that.
I think the world needs fewer rating systems.
We still need to find who started it.
Fate Scold stood and adjusted her cloak.
And you will.
Snooks picked up his biscuit from the floor, inspected it briefly, then took a small satisfied bite as if the crisis had never truly concerned him at all. Somewhere beyond the tavern, unseen systems continued to move. But for the moment, inside these walls, experience belonged only to those who lived it.
Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah! And maybe drop a comment. It's like getting something in the mail. Gotta love getting some mail from your friends, right?
Maybe they don't like us, Nived. You shouldn't expect everyone to like us.
Not like us? Inconceivable. Who doesn't like a team as amazing as us? Or baby dragons at the very least.
We must let them decide. We can only play our part. And hope.
The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.